Hola everybody, how are you today? Just driving down the road, mind my own business, but anyways, haven't talked to you in a while, so I'm going to rant a little bit. What I see in this sport is I see a lot of greed in this sport, so much greed. And greed not meaning, not even knowing where it's coming from. So let's start with the parents and the sponsors. To me, the parents and the sponsors are so greedy for that kid, that athlete to be successful. One, the sponsor wants to get everything they can out of them, and as soon as they can't get anything out of them, they're just a dirty tear-off, and we throw you in the trash, right? But we pushed you so hard that now you're just a broken bucket of bolts. The parents are so greedy for their kid to be successful because they're running out of money, the dangers of the sport, or they see what little Johnny's getting also, so they're pushing their kid without developing their kid, without teaching their kid, without educating their kid of the sport, right? Then we go to coaches. And I see so many coaches, and I hear so many coaches, just lap times and motos. Well, what do you think you're doing to a kid that's underdeveloped? What do you think you're doing to a kid that doesn't have a lot of riding age to him? Yeah, he's 15 years old. Yeah, but he's only been racing for 3 years. You need to have a lot of riding age to be able to be pushed. A lot of these kids, and 99% of these kids at this amateur level, aren't ready to be pushed. So I see these kids come to me, and I'm like, were these coaches or were these trainers blind? Did they not see what I saw the first lap of all these imbalances? So if you're only working on lap times and motos, well, you're just imprinting that imbalance. You're imprinting that weakness in that rider even deeper, and then it's going to take longer to get out. Because remember, 500 reps to teach you the right one way, 5,000 reps to reteach you. So again, if you're always just working on speed, and you have imbalances, well, you're just ingraining those imbalances even deeper. So don't be so greedy about putting your arm around some kid that you think is going to be fast, or making kids so fast. Let's develop these kids, all right? Now, promoters, hey, you took the responsibility of putting on races. You take the responsibility of the riders' careers. So when you go back to 1990 and you look at Mammoth and you look at that track, you're going to be blown away at how rough it was, how long it was, and how better prepared it is. Now so many tracks are just becoming like little BMX tracks, little funny jumps in the middle, little funny jumps in the corner, little berms on the outside. Oh, yay! But they're not developing riders. Yes, for the 50, 60, 80 rider, BC rider, okay. But what about the pro rider? See, this is the thing, is I go to all these local tracks and I see all these amateur pros just hanging on by a string because there's nothing there. And if they make one mistake, they have one injury, they lose one sponsor, they're fucking done. There's no development. There's no progress to getting these kids to be to the top of the ranks. Because remember, 99% of all you racers will never make it to the amateur pros. 99% of you amateur pros will never make it to the pros. And 99% of you amateur pros that made it to the pros will never make it a career, because a career in this sport is 10 years at the top. Okay? So we need to make sure that we have better progression. We need to make sure that we're not so fucking greedy on trying to push these kids that aren't ready. Then these kids get to a trainer and they put this huge workload on these kids that don't have any training age. They haven't been training for 1-2 years solid. You need to have 3, 4, 5 years solid training before you can put this workload that all these top riders can do that you're trying to put on to an amateur. You understand? You can't push riders too fast in the sport. There's too much consequence to it. It's too difficult. There's too many things to work out. So you need to have a little bit more patience. You need to educate the rider, and so that when he gets to the top, that he has a better answer for it. Now, the road to it. You think that an amateur pro is going to come away and be ready for Red Butt coming from Paula qualifier, Loretta's, or Mammoth? Nah, it's not going to happen. No, these little 5-lap motos aren't going to get him prepared. These smooth tracks aren't going to get these riders prepared. I'm looking at their future. I'm looking at the development of riders, not just right now. Okay, so I feel, just like Supercross, we need to have an East-West amateur nationals. What about 4 races on the East, 4 races on the West, to get these kids ready for the tracks, the the way the race works, watching the top riders do it, so then now they have a better understanding of it, just like Europe does. Europe, to me, has a farm league where they develop the riders to get them into the MXGPs, where they are solid, strong, confident riders, not just a dime a dozen where, oh, you didn't make it, sorry, you just spent your whole life and your mom and dad spent all their money trying to get to this career and we only give you one shot and we didn't prepare you, because the sport doesn't really give a shit about you, because we're just caring about money and fame. All right, so hey, I've done this sport for 38 fucking years with an absolute obsession. I've done it wrong in many ways, and I've taught the sport how to do it right. So again, and my way now is about being progressive, about educating, and about being patient. Not being wild, not riding over your head, and not being greedy for speed. Okay? Just my little rant today, boys and girls. Hope everybody's having a good day. Peace.